This is a Choppin It Up show brought to you by the Marching Podcast. And now here is your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Everyone, welcome to the Choppin It Up show. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me make sure my mic is okay here. All right, y'all. Welcome to the Choppin It Up show and get my words out. I'm your host, Joe Beard. Happy to be of service for you tonight. Got a real good guest for you because I met this person and now, like every 5 seconds, he knows somebody that I know. So we got a whole lot of connecting to do tonight. And we're really excited to chop it up. Mr. Rodney Chism, how you doing in this podcast, sir?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, same old. Good to have you finally on. One of the triple plus platinum listeners in the chat room. Rodney being there saying his thing. So it's good to have you now on so we can talk to you. Because got a couple stories to ask you about. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to be chopping it up tonight. And shout out to all the folks that know where Rodney's from. I don't want to ruin anything yet. But, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to them folks. Yeah, I will be saying, you know who you are. But how you doing tonight, Rodney?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Man.
Well, I just want to say, let me give you a round of applause for the backdrop. Nice little backdrop. Hold on, let me get the little camera in there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A little Jarvis right there. So that's kind of giving it away, but you know where he's representing from. So I actually got a couple questions because I didn't even really know about Jarvis. So man, we got a lot to talk to. Like to talk to you tonight about. Also, somebody wanted me to hit them up while we were on the air. Because I wanted to try this out to see if it works. But somebody else was kind of like, they was kind of talking noise a little bit.
Oh, man.
They said they wanted to step in and say, had some words.
Oh, man.
So.
You don't do it like that?
Yeah, so I want to try to see if that works tonight just to kind of see if I'm ready for that in the future. All right. So how we start off, I'm going to go ahead and get all the sponsors out the way.
Why I gotta be the guinea pig, man?
No, man, this is gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say, me and Rodney was the first ones to start this. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But man, it's gonna be cool, and I really appreciate your time. But we go ahead and get out the sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk with the conversation. All right. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then when we get back from the commercial, I'm gonna see if this person's on the line. They wanted to give you a shout out and everything. Shout out to people in the chat room. If you're in the chat room, I can't see him, but I'm gonna try to connect on my other device through YouTube and try to keep up. My little service, it ain't working right now, so we'll get that worked out. All right, so let's go ahead and do the commercials. You listen to the Marching Podcast. We chopping it up with Rodney Chism. We appreciate you listening, appreciate you watching, and we'll be right back after the commercial break, as they say. All right, so we'll be back and keep it locked, as they say.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
The source for fair and factual information on your favorite college bands, blockusup.com. Well-written articles, in-depth band performance analysis, helpful resources for band directors, fun band-related topics, and exclusive interviews with some of today's brightest and most talented leaders of college marching bands. Visit us at blockusup.com, the meeting place for band fans and band directors.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe Beard from the Marching Podcast. Is your school, club, or organization looking for high-quality decorated apparel to outfit your students, staff, club, or team? Tired of the same old boring white t-shirt? Are you in charge of the upcoming fundraiser or special event but don't really have time to troll the internet for ideas or compare products? SAY can help with design and product selection. We can even assist with ideas on conducting an effective fundraising program. SAY can help you save time and get your message heard. So call 1-800-975-3156. SAY Marketing and Promotions.
Give your brand a voice.
If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in the Southern California area, please contact Kevin Peete of RE/MAX PATRIOTS. He will meet and exceed all of your needs. You can contact Kevin at 951-858-5942. That's 951-858-5942. Or you can email Kevin at kpsaleshomes@sbcglobal.net. That's 951-858-5942. KP initials Kevin Peete, KP Sales Homes, all one word, at sbcglobal.net. Thanks again.
You want the best barbecue around? SmokeeOs coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. SmokeeOs know what's good for you. You want the best barbecue around? SmokeeOs coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. SmokeeOs know what's good for you. SmokeeOs, come check us out.
All right, Rodney. All right, we back from the beloved sponsors. And if you could actually see, I don't know if you can see through your Skype, but I added somebody to the call and they wanted to say hello. So I'm going to go ahead and let them say what's going on to you, Rodney, man.
Hey, what's up, Marching Podcast? What's going on? What's happening?
What's going on, Bridgette?
I was gonna call, so don't get brand new.
What's going on, Bridgette? How you doing?
Good. Joe Baird, how you doing?
I'm making it. I'm making it. It's good to hear from you. How you doing in the off season?
Hey, off season is great. You better be glad I'm awake. I'm awake for this one. If I don't wake up for any other interview, I'm waking up for this one.
What made mine so special, man?
Hey, Dr. Rodney Chism, how you doing?
How you doing, Miss Bill? You doing all right?
Welcome to the podcast.
Already.
Welcome. welcome, as they say in church. Welcome to the podcast. You ready? You ready for it?
Already.
Okay, I hear it. Now, Joe, Dr. Chism's a good guy. I had an opportunity to visit the campus of Jarvis a few months back. Very nice campus. Nice campus. I never even heard of the school until recently, so it was awesome to kind of check out the campus, see they got some good things going on. Glad they're supportive of the program. Well, at least Dr. Chism is supportive of our show, the Marching Podcast, so it's good to be able to show people some support. So
right.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man, I don't know if you can see it, but you see the backdrop, Bridgette?
Yeah, I know they done went all out. Look at
that's tight. Hold on, let me get another round of applause.
Yeah, man, you know, we trying to do something down here.
Well, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So yeah, Bridgette, she let the cat out of the bag. You Dr. Chism. But yeah, I was gonna let that come out a little bit later. But that's all good.
You know, as a soon to be finished doctoral student, I'm on that. I know the work that people put into it, so I try to give them their props. That's a lot. That's a lot of work. And trust me, Joe, when I get done, y'all gonna be calling me Dr. Bridgette. Don't play with me. You hear me?
Right.
Yeah. After all that hazing they put you through forward, you better be called in.
Right.
That's right. Shout out to our very own Dr. Christy Walker, who finished her.
Yeah, that's right.
In December. So congratulations to one of our own. Dr. Christy, that's our girl. She got done. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
So when you have that title behind the name, I try to recognize and honor it.
Well, that's what's up. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Bridgette was the one that actually touched base. She was like, get Rodney on the show. And so immediately afterwards, I got you on there. And then I remember I recognized seeing like the name. Because Chism, that's an easy name to remember. So I was like, man, where I seen that name before? And then, so damn, I'm about to ruin the interview. My bad. So yeah, so long story short, I hooked up and got you on Facebook, Rodney, and saw me and like 300 of the same people. And I was going through all your pictures, and I was like, damn, I didn't know he knew him. I didn't know. So I was like, man, I got a lot to ask you about tonight. So I wanted to give Bridgette a shout out because she was the one who said, get Rodney on there. She was the one who said it. You know what I'm saying? So after she said, I made it happen. You know Joe, every year I go to Midwest Band and Orchestra Clinic, and I have a great opportunity to meet a lot of directors and people in the business. And there's a lot of people that I met. And it's so funny because band directors are the kind of people, you meet people and it's like you've been knowing them forever. Mm-hmm. And so, I met some great people at the conference. I always do. But Chism is one of the people that I met during the conference this year and had some good things going on. So, I try to, when people try to promote us, we try to promote them too. So I was like, let me throw the name their way. And I know they're doing some good things, trying to build some things at Jarvis. So, best wishes to Jarvis and the Jarvis band as they continue to build, because building a program that's a hard task. That's a hard task. So best wishes to them as they do that. That's an awesome task and an awesome responsibility. People have no idea. So mad props to Jarvis for getting behind Dr. Chism and supporting him with the recruitment and all those other things. That's a good thing. Yeah, that's outstanding. And then just like, we talked to the other directors trying to get their name out there, but try to get the school out there. Try to get some schools, some pub, and get, so we started talking about Jarvis. You know what I'm saying? Jarvis was cranking. Well, I don't know about that word. Hold on.
Say that word to me one more time,
My
Joe.
bad. It slipped. My bad, Bridgette. You know what I'm saying?
Not tonight.
My bad. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody been cranking. People been cranking. Let me tell y'all something before I get off this cast tonight. Can y'all stop this marching band? I need the people to stop all these community, high school, whoever you are. Stop it. We're over it. Give it a rest. We don't want to talk about marching band no more to the end of August. Maybe the 1st of September. Take your whole self down and go get you some good old ratings at festival. I'm just saying. Bridgette said it. You don't like me, call me.
That's what's up, Bridgette.
I'm over it. I'm serious. I'm so tired. Everybody's still cranking. My gosh. Like
Bridgette, I made a post about that not too long ago. I don't know if you saw it. It was talking about breaking down the different seasons. And I was like, from this to this is marching season. From this to this is pep band season. From this to this. like, where does concert fall in this? You know what I'm saying? And it's just constantly going and going and going and going. I'm with you on it. I agree with you. This stuff needs to take a break. Take a break, you know.
They're not dedicating the time in it, you know, especially with young musicians, and people kind of be like, what do you think? You know, I had a couple people kind of comfort me when I said it before. You know, it don't matter because my opinions it's going to be mine and it doesn't matter. But the whole idea is at some point, marching band has to stop in order to teach the fundamentals and to just change how kids listen, especially with young musicians. It has to stop. It just has to, you got to take a moment because we listen differently from marching to concert season. And what happened is, often I tell you, I'm a part of HBCU Consortium. Shout out to them. The conference is in 2 weeks. Let me throw that, well, actually next week. So let me put a shout out there. But I listen to symphonic bands on every level, and I tell you, our HBCU bands, high school and college, there's something to be said for the style. When the style doesn't switch and when it doesn't stop, it's so evident when it comes time to concert literature, because the level of performance that needs to be there just isn't there. And I don't care what nobody say. Argue me down with it. They can argue me down. We can sit and go toe-to-toe and listen. I can prove it to you every single time. So I give shout-out to the programs who are who's showcasing their symphonic bands. You know, I'm enjoying watching clips of Alabama A&M and some of the others who are out there really working towards it. But my gosh, you said cranking, and it just went through my whole soul, Joe.
My bad, Bridgette.
Soul.
My bad. You know what I'm saying?
You know how I feel about that word.
I know, but and the ignorance. I mean, you know, I said and a little bit of the ignorance. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, no, I feel you. I totally feel you.
You know, bandheads like that term. Musicians don't.
Yeah. You are
hilarious. Well, you gonna say blastissimo?
Blastissimo, yeah, Doctor.
There you go.
Doc said, Dr. Sanford, O'Neal Sanford. He's at the conference. He called it blastissimo, but everybody else called it cranking. Just being obnoxiously loud is what I call it. You know, people try to defend it, but it is what it is.
It's all good, though. You know, no, because it was somebody. Oh, you know what? That reminds me, and I don't want to get too far along, because I want to go ahead and start talking to you, Rodney. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember. I think 2 years ago now, you remember the guy put the video on YouTube about the black college marching bands. And then he didn't want to show his face. And you remember it would cause a lot of buzz because he was basically saying, oh, let's go through and look at the clips of their concert bands. And we didn't know if he was black or white, or we didn't know. But I remember I talked to him on the phone, and then I talked about our conversation when we were still over on NBC. And that was essentially the argument. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know.
Joe, you talked to the guy?
Yeah. I talked to him. I talked to him on the phone.
Who was it? You know, I was talking. Who was it?
Oh, well, I don't know. He didn't give me his identity.
He had one of them robot voices, and Joe didn't know what he was saying.
Yeah. He was. He didn't give me his number. He called me from a restricted number. He was very, very careful. You know what I'm saying? But I talked to him, and I reasoned with him, and I invited him on the show. But he didn't want to come on the show because I guess he was getting the death threats, and people was going in on him.
Says it was Showtime Web. $10. I bet you. I bet $10.
It was a lot of folks, but
you think that it's Showtime Web, and he was talking about concert band.
I'm trying to tell you, but he did some footage for some other stuff for a concert band too. My bet is Showtime Web.
Wow, that's that's a trip that I ain't never even thought about. Possibly, he said that who he was, the only identity he had gave me was he was in a predominantly PWI marching band, and he started to get agitated at the fact that they wanted to play like Neck, or I think somebody made a post just this week. It's like, they call them bracket bands. So now you got Arizona State coming in playing Stunting Like My Daddy. And you know what I'm saying? They flipping the game. So
I'm pretty sure they got a J. Bo Cook arrangement of that out there somewhere.
Right.
They have stock arrangements there.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what happened. And so he said he didn't like the fact that his peers wanted to be so, black. And then so he was like, hey, so let's go out and so he felt yeah. So you guys remember, but I just what you just said, Bridgette, that reminded me of that, because that's what he was saying was the problem was with the concert bands. He was like, look at this concert band, look at this concert band. He was like, they're horrible, blah blah blah. So yeah, just bringing that back up.
Showtime Web, because you said that robo whatever voice, and he don't want to show his face. That's one of his trademarks. Showtime Web trademark.
I should ask him if that was him.
You Showtime Web. That's you. Stop playing. I want Garrett. Garrett, if you're watching this, go ahead and post a picture of my boy Showtime Web. That's how you shut all this conversation up. That's me being petty. Go ahead and post a picture of him, Garrett. Knock it out the park. All right, I'm getting off here. Y'all have some fun. I'm listening to the interview. I'll be in the chat room.
All right. Appreciate it, Bridgette. Be easy. And love Morgan. All right, shout out to Bridgette.
Yeah, shout out to Bridgette, man. I ain't get a chance to thank her, man. She ran up the tongue before I can say thanks for her. Reaching out to you. So she watching. So Bridgette, you know what I'm saying? Good looking out. Thanks. Sarah, ITB love. You know what it is.
Right. So yeah, it's good to talk to you. So okay, so let's go on and get started, man. All right, so Rodney, where are you from? Well, man, I'll just say somebody else I talked to today said they know you. Rodney, where are you from?
Before we get started, man, let me handle the housekeeping stuff, okay? Let me give a shout out to, my president, Dr. Lester C. Newman, here at Jarvis Christian College, handling his business, his cabinet, Ms. Stansel, Dr. Bradford, Dr. Pruitt, and everybody that makes the machine work here at Jarvis Christian College. Let me handle the housekeeping stuff first, man.
Right.
So
a round of applause.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Rodney, where are you from, man?
I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, man.
Okay, so you from Memphis. Okay, so
yeah.
That is like HBCU country. HBCU band country. Okay. So what would you say? Oh, real quick. Are your folks from Memphis? Is your family all from Memphis?
I'm born and raised, man, Memphis. My mother has been there all her life, and my dad is from the Mississippi Delta, and they moved up to Memphis when he was a child, and we've been in Memphis all our lives.
Okay. Yeah, my folks is from Mississippi. My dad's side of the family is from Mississippi too. So you growing up there in Memphis, what would you say was your first marching band experience or your first musical experience there at Memphis?
Well, I am the baby in the family.
Okay.
And my sister was actually in the band in high school. And, when, I don't know if you got any older siblings, but, when you get out of school and you got to wait around with your sister or your older sibling or whatnot. And so I used to have to go to band practice with my sister, and I sat there and just watched them. My sister, we all went to Fairleigh High School. I'm pretty sure you heard of them.
Yeah, I have.
So, yeah, we were under the late, great Jeff Huddleston out there. He was a veteran, a legend in the Delta as well. A crazy saxophone player. I'm talking about just the greatest. But I used to sit back and watch them, and then when the band used to march around in the neighborhood, we used to follow the group. I mean, I was a fairly high groupie before anything. I used to love them.
Right.
And the elementary school being adjacent, so they used to have their pep rallies during the day, and we all looking out the window, so excited to see them, and that's pretty much where my first experience with band. And also my dad, he managed a lot of bands growing up, like live bands in the 80s. That was during that time. It was hot, Mm-hmm. And my brother and I used to sneak back there and, try to get them guys to show us some things on instruments and things like that. My mama didn't like it. We used to stay getting whoopings for it. But I mean, it was, because my mama never want us to have that light,
Right.
So, and my dad was always on the road with them and managing. It was just like I tell people all the time, man. My grandmama, she was one hell of a cook, man. And I used to eat Sunday dinner with people who we know as legends now. Like the Barcades used to come over to my grandmama's house and eat,
mm-hmm.
And Confunction. You know, all them guys that was out of Stax Records, man. Al Green came over there a couple of times, you know. But I'm a child. I don't know these people, you know. Right. You know, the DeBarges, because they knew my Uncle Larry. You know, I mean, like, I was literally eating Sunday dinner with who we know as musical icons and legends now, man. You know? So, you know, I was always around music, man.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So that's at a young age. So you already said you went to Fairleigh High School there in Memphis. Like you already said you already was looking to be there. Do you know what you wanted to play? Like, what instrument did you start going after?
Well, it's funny. Like I said, you know, I grew up I was a child in the 80s, and one of the most popular movies that was out at that time was Purple Rain, man. So I just always wanted to play the guitar like Prince. Okay. Like, I mean, like, I wanted to do that. And so, and then later on, there was a movie that came out called Crossroads with Ralph Macchio. Do you remember that movie?
Hold up, man. Let me give you a round of applause. Man, first of all, let me tell you, man, I brought that up with Bridgette. We were talking about that movie in one episode with Bridgette, and everybody thought I was crazy. That movie was super dope, though, right?
Right. Yeah, that was like one of the greatest. I mean, it is so funny. It's like, you know how, especially in the part when he was playing the Mozart and he blues it up at the end, and the teacher, I was like, man, he ain't gonna graduate that.
Right.
But so, you know, those type of, that movie, that Purple Rain, that Crossroad, but, you know, my daddy got me a guitar, and I couldn't, you know, tend to get it together. So here's another one, though. Do you remember in the 80s that there was a show that used to come on BET called Video Soul?
Yeah, with Donnie Simpson.
With Donnie Simpson, yeah, exactly.
Hold up, man. Let me give a round of applause. Both of my sisters used to love some Donnie Simpson because he had them light eyes.
He had them green eyes, yeah.
Watch out, Donnie Simpson now.
Oh yeah. So what happened was this was the first ever. I think they said this was one of the very first videos that an instrumental that will be played on Video Soul. So I saw this one man. He played this instrument that looks like a J. And he was playing So Amazing by Luther Vandross. And later on, I found out that man's name was Gerald Albright. And I said, that's what I want to play. I want to play that instrument that looked like a J.
Right.
You know, and that's what I ended up doing later on. Because later on, Gerald Albright came out with this is what I do to get you in the mood. Right. And then he played my, and I was just like, I'm sold. I want that there.
Right.
So the very first instrument that I ever showed a strong interest in was the instrument that looked like a J. And to this day, that's the instrument I played. It looked like a J.
So all the savvy folks, the saxophones, all the folks that don't know, it's the saxophone.
Oh yeah, but
no, that's actually pretty dope. So I saw you 78 on Skype. Were you born in 78?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. We got another round of applause. They said nothing but the Pimps, Players, and Hustlers was born in 78. But that was when I was a young man. I'm just playing. Not now. We outgrown it. I'll just play. All right.
You was born in the 70s, in between in the 70s up to at least 84, man. You got it going on.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I try to tell folks that. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually pretty funny. So Video Soul, man, you brought it back. I try to tell Bridgette about that movie. Man, that movie was so cold. And it was dope because he basically, you know what I'm saying, I think the core of that movie was he knew his scales. I get, like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He didn't come out there just be all hot rocking it. You know what I'm saying? Like dude was, he just broke it down, pulled something out the Arbin's book. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's exactly what he went back to the fundamentals and beat that guy.
Right. So So Crossroads with the Karate Kid, y'all. Y'all check it out. Yeah, it's dope. All
It's
right.
called Cross. And then, hey, tell people not to get it confused. There were two Crossroads. There was that one, and then Britney Spears came out with one later on. It's not the Britney Spears version, okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she had one later on. It was her and the girl from Drumline. They were in it. So, Crossroads, it has Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid, and it has this black guy. His name is Joe Seneca.
Joe Seneca, yep. And Jamie Gertz was the
Jamie Gertz was in
yep.
it. Mm-hmm. And what was the white guy name who played the guitar? He was Steve Vai. That's who that was.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
but it was dope. I mean, that was it was a really good movie.
That's like one of my favorite movies of all time. That movie there, and Tap with Gregory Hines.
Yeah, man. I feel you, because you remember back in those days, stuff would come on HBO. You had to videotape it.
Yeah.
So I had my little favorite movies, on a little V set. That was one of the movies I had on there. Crossroads, man. You done brought it back, brother. You know
what I'm saying? I got it on DVD.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. All right, so we on the same page then. And you get to high school. Now, once you start marching in high school, do you have like a most memorable experience while you were marching in high school?
Well, I have plenty. One big memorable moment. And I'm going to tell you, growing up in Memphis and being in the band, there were like maybe 4 high schools at that time, during that time that I was in the band. And it was Fairleigh High School, it was Whitehaven High School,
yeah,
it was Westwood High School,
yeah,
and Hamilton High School. And all of us used to always, everybody, this is me not discrediting anyone else's program, but you knew at that time those were the 4 marquee programs of the city. So we went to the Mardi Gras in 95. This was my 11th grade year. And there was a band that was next to us, and they turned around and tried to play at us. So we played back at them. And St. Mary's was in front of us. And them girls did an about face. And the song that they played on us was "Who Do I Turn To," man.
With what was that? Escape?
No, with Shantae Moore.
Who can I turn to? Oh, right.
And then, listen, when they finished, them girls raised and did a ballerina bow with us and turned around. My band director was like, "We done."
Wow. Is it an all-girls school?
Yeah, that was St. Mary's out of New Orleans. Yeah, they're all-girls school.
Oh, out of New Orleans. Wow.
Yeah, that's like the most memorable like band battle moment that I like
of
to
all
this day.
time, right?
Well, in my high school career, because I got one in college that me and Bridgette was talking about a while ago.
Okay. Yeah, because I definitely want to talk to you about that, because you and I both were transfers.
Yeah.
We actually, and it is a blessing. I know I scared the hell out of my parents, but being able to march at 2 HBCUs, that's really cool. And shout out to Travis from the Show Style guys. He actually graduated from Fayetteville State and then went on to Texas Southern. So shout out to all the people. Chris Jones. I know you, Chris Jones. He just talked about you too. Give a shout out to him. Yeah, man, he transferred the year after I did from Smith to Jackson State. So, and we've kept up over the years. I just talked to him today because he said, he's going to be checking us out tonight. So, but yeah, it's really cool to be able to march for 2 programs. So I'll get to that. So you had that experience there in high school. Now, college decision time. What schools were you thinking about? Did you have a list? Where you be like, whoa, I want to go to this school? Because, we didn't have YouTube and all that stuff back in the day. So what was your college decision like? And then where did you go to college? Where did you go to school after high school?
Okay, so me being from Memphis, the only two schools that we pretty much saw all the time was Tennessee State and Jackson State because of the Southern Heritage class.
Right.
So, every now and then, we'll get a few that may slide to Pine Bluff. UAPB wasn't booming then,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was there. And we had a few that were probably because of our band director, that would slide to Mississippi Valley, but it wasn't going any further than that. It was either maybe Tennessee State or either Jackson State. So at that time, I'm pretty. You can attest to this. You were in the band. You remember LeVar Newsom played tuba?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, see, me and LeVar actually grew up together. But a lot of my friends were going down to Jackson State. So I'm always be the oddball and go somewhere different. So I said, I want to play against y'all. I'm going to Nashville. I'm going to Tennessee State. So I ended up, I graduated from high school in '96.
Me too. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? All right, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I came out in '96 and whatnot, and I didn't go to college right after high school. In the fall of '95, my high school band director, well, every year we always went to two homecomings, to somebody's college homecoming. So my senior year, we went to Tennessee State and UAPB. When I went to the TSU homecoming, I don't know if anybody has ever gone, but that is like one of the crunkest homecomings ever. I'm talking about you will have the time of your life up there. We kicked it. I'm talking about high school kids. I'm like, man, I'm going here. They let us go in the band room, and some of them guys let us play on their instruments, and we got to watch them march down the street and go into their stadium, and a lot of us went in with them, and I was like, man, I'm gonna be here.
Right.
So I'm excited. I'm amped up. So I was like, man, if TSU homecoming like this, man, I can't wait to go to UAPB's next week. Man, we go down to UAPB next week. I'm talking about, man, it was night and day, man. That homecoming was so boring, man. We went to the game. We up in the bleachers sleep, man.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, we up in the bleachers. I'm like, man. So later on that year, with Mr. Graham, he had, he was freshly new at UAPB. This was probably like his maybe second or third year there at this point.
Okay.
He gets there and he gets to Fairleigh or whatnot, and he talked to some of us about coming to UAPB. So I'm a little cocky, done made all West, Austin it to the State and Jazz and all this stuff. I'm a little cocky little something, man. He walked up in there. He was like, "How you doing, young man?" I was like, "How you doing, sir?" So where you planning on going to school at? I said, "I'm going to Tennessee State." How you gonna pay for it? Financial aid, student loans, scholarships.
Right.
My GPA is great. I'm gonna get an academic. I know I am. He was like, "Well, I'm building a program down there in Pine Bluff." I said, "With all due respect, Mr. Graham, I won't be caught dead at your school. Your homecoming was boring." I said, "Thanks for the opportunity." And I walked out of the practice room, man. Like, I literally walked out of the practice room.
Wow.
So, I didn't go to high school right after. I mean, I didn't go to college right after high school. I sat out a year.
Uh-huh.
Because, I wanted to get a car. You 18 years old, man. All you want is some wheels and honey.
Right.
That's what you want.
Right.
So, there was a battle of the band in Memphis that fall. And I'm talking about UAPB came out there in fall 96, and man, they went from they was like probably about 35 in last fall, and they went to like almost 180.
Wow,
I was like,
really?
whoa. You know what I'm saying? I was like, but they didn't sound bad, I mean, they had a young sound, but I was like, nah, I'm still going to Tennessee State, man. Y'all don't play the Southern Air Class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, in the fall of 97, I go ahead and go to Tennessee State, do my little thing up there, do this, do my little thing, But Tennessee State, what I'm saying, for that band to be that good, I got bored playing into empty bleachers every Saturday, man. That year, My freshman year at Tennessee State, the black schools we had were Jackson State, Florida A&M. We played against South Carolina State at the Atlanta Classic, and we played against North Carolina A&T at the Circle City Classic. And I was just like, after that, man, it's just empty bleachers every week. Right. Man. For this band to be this good, I was like, man, I want to go to the SWAC, man. I got to go to the SWAC because I got to see somebody every week. We heard, like you said, we didn't have YouTube or anything like that. So you hear the stories about the SWAC, but, all we had was little old cassette tapes that were being passed around.
That's right.
So that was when UAPB was getting ready to be in the SWAC. And then, all I remember is what UAPB looked like in 96 when I saw them all big. Because if I would have saw them in 97, I probably wouldn't have transferred.
Yeah.
It's like they went from like I said, 35 and 95. And then in 96, they was like almost 180. And then in 97, they look like the program I have here at Jarvis right now.
Really?
Yeah, they was extreme. Like Mr. Graham just probably kicked everybody out. But I didn't know that. My mind still said 96.
Right.
So we gets down there. I a couple of my brothers, they ended up becoming my crab brothers or whatnot, and they end up, and one of them ended up becoming my KK Psi LB. They go down there, they trombone players, they go down there and audition, and they told me about it. So I was like, man, I don't know, man. Dude may remember who I am, man.
After what you said.
Yeah, so they was like, Rodney, just don't go. So I went down there and I'm playing my horns, hoping that he don't bring it up and all that. He typing me up in front of the upper class. But yeah, this guy right here came down and played his B flat scale in 3 octaves. He all this, So we get the scholarship. I'm all excited, I'm transferring from and another reason why I wanted to go to UAPB because they had KK Psi. And I was gonna go to UAPB players KK Psi and call myself gonna transfer back to Tennessee State and be the only person on campus that was KK Psi.
Nice idea. That's a nice plan.
But ended up staying down there. You know what I'm saying? So I get down there. We get the band camp. And we get to our first playing session. So we were sitting back playing. We were playing, and Mr. Graham cut the band off. And he said, young man, give me your hand. So he grabbed my hand, and he did his fingers like this on my thing. He started looking at his watch. I was like, what's going on? He said, I'm just trying to make sure you ain't dead because you're here. I just started laughing.
That's exactly what you said, man. You know what I'm saying?
I just started laughing. I said, I was young and dumb at that time, man. But I end up telling that story to a lot of the kids I go out here and recruit, man. Don't burn a bridge. You never know where you're gonna end up. You know what I'm saying? Give a chance, whatever, because you never know. I remember the place that I wouldn't be caught dead at. That's where I ended up getting my bachelor's degree from.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Not only that, you know what I'm saying? I was one of Mr. Graham's. I was one of his first student arrangers. I was his first student director that he had at UAPB. So this guy who wouldn't be caught dead ended up being one of his top students. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I had a lot of experiences at UAPB, man, that I wouldn't trade for the world, man.
So that's interesting. That is interesting, the transfer between the two schools. I had never heard someone say like they were transferring from Tennessee State. When I had my transfer story was different because I went from Smith to Jackson State. So it was a drastic music difference. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But you were the first person that actually said that, you got tired of actually playing to them empty stands. And I never actually thought about that because I only think when we say, oh, we about to see Tennessee State this week, it's because they playing Jackson State or FAM or Bethune or something. I never thought about the students that may go out there and when they go play, I don't know, Martin, University of Martin or Tennessee Martin or so whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's an interesting take.
I'm just saying, man, Tennessee State, man, and for people who don't know, Tennessee State have a great band, man. And I hated that. I hate the conference that they in, man, because they have to make do for what they do, man. Tennessee State, I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. I wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's just, I was young and a little BandHead at that point, man. I wanted to play more. We sitting up here trying to be hype, and we hype with each other, but I want to see somebody across the field, man. After we played A&T at the Circle City Classic that year, man, that was it, man.
Right.
That was it, man. We playing Tennessee Tech and Cookeville and Austin P and come on, man. Tennessee State is a great band, man. Tennessee State is a great band, man. I promise you. I still love them to this day, man.
Oh yeah, it's a good program. I know Dr. Davenport. He's from there, and
Dr. Davenport was quote unquote my crab brother, man.
Really?
Yeah, in '97, that was his first year as director at Tennessee State, man.
Oh wow, that's right. That is right. Okay, right. So Dr. Davenport, and then I think Mario Warren went to Tennessee State. I think. Mario
Warren was a year ahead of me. He came in '95. Well, me and Mario Warren actually grew up together. We went to the same high school.
Okay. See, Dad, that's somebody else you know. Damn.
Yeah, we went to the same high school. Yeah, he came out in '95 and I came out in '96. Yeah.
Okay.
We all under the same teachers, man.
Right. Well, that's tight. So you understand that. So yeah, it is a great program. But yeah, that does trip me out. That's the first time I actually thought about it, though. Like, how would I feel? I'll go to Tennessee State, but I took it for granted when I was at Jackson State, where we played UAPB, you know what I'm saying? We played Grambling. We played somebody every week, and it wasn't like no sleeping. Like, where you about to think that, we don't need to practice this week. You know what I'm saying?
That's when the sweat was booming, man.
Right. So I did take that for granted. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this. So you crabbed in '97 at Tennessee State? Or you were a freshman, your first year in the band at Tennessee State was '97, right?
My whole college experience was '97. I sat out a whole year before I went to school.
Right. So
because see, let me be honest with you. I sat out a year. Like I said, I set the work. I ended up moving down here, and I stayed in Mesquite with my uncle because I thought that I was gonna try to go to Prairie View, and I was trying to be a Texas resident. I don't know nothing about Prairie View. I just heard stories about them, and I wanted to give them a try.
Right.
Yeah, but I ended up, I forgot that my uncle was my mama's brother, so I ended up moving back to Memphis and going to Tennessee State, man.
Right. So you went to Tennessee State there in '97. Then you transferred to UAPB in '98.
In '98, right.
Okay.
Where did you go to Jackson?
'97. So I was at Smith in '96. So I came to Jackson State in '97. So you were the second dude I talked to who was in that band. The first dude I talked to was Michael Cowens. You know Michael Cowens?
That's my crowd brother, man.
I'm about to say, okay, so you know Michael Cowens. So yeah. Michael Cowens has got a nice little story, too, where I believe he went to Southern, and then he transferred back to Tennessee State. Okay. All right, so y'all were in that game where against us, we ran out of songs. And y'all was just over there cooking. Y'all was just over there
You know what, man? You are the first person from Jackson to admit that y'all ran out of songs.
See, that's my other problem. People in the boom be saying I be running my mouth too much. You know what I'm saying? My bad. I don't mean to. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I pressed the wrong button. But nah, man, that was probably the darkest night of my HBCU career, probably, because it was trumpet.
So your one of your section leaders was Derek Hardaway.
Oh, what? You know everybody. Okay, hold on. Let me get it right.
That's my best friend, bro.
Man. Okay, so Derek Hardaway AKA Fat Nasty.
Fat Nasty.
Fat Nasty was my section leader. And he was actually really good. Like, he was a really good trumpet player, but he was also really, like, mature. Because you know how upperclassmen can be. And it's like off the chain when the band director's around. So he would pretty much keep people in line, and he didn't curse. So I remember thinking, like, wow, this is like a really upstanding, mature individual. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, Fat Nasty. I actually chopped it up with him a couple years ago. He's
a principal in Memphis now.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Fat Nasty. So yeah, he had us in line and everything. But yeah, 97 we went out there, and then I mean I've even told the whole story. I told Michael the whole story. We didn't even have a dance routine ready, and we put the dance routine together Friday night, and it was so dope because it was the joint where, and y'all, cause see y'all did it. That's what pissed us off. Was we thought we had saved our show, and y'all went on first and did like the coup de grace of our breakdown, and that's when the four, you in squads of four, and you ran in a circle, and your squad in a circle. So that was like, we was about to tear the club up, son, with that, and we was about to bring Memphis down. And y'all went out there first and did it, and it was like, oh no! I mean, it was from the stands, even the halftime show. It was just a bad night. You know what I'm saying?
No, in y'all defense though, when we were taking a knee and y'all played that More Money, More Problems for y'all drum majors, I'm talking about, man, that was dude, them trombones was over there wicking it bad for it, man. And I was on the sideline like, yeah, I still remember that.
Oh yeah, we had some power. We had some power. I still remember that. Yeah, I talked to a couple guys from Alabama State that year. And that was our first game. And they were like, wow, you guys were like amazing. But we didn't have no songs. So they got mad because, like, I think we like I think after the game we played like the halftime show or something. Like we didn't do too many songs that time of year. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, after we left Nashville, or after we left Memphis that night, I mean, band directors, upper class and everybody is like, man, we need to get on our book. So, like, them next 3 weeks, man, it was like hell or high water. We were learning so much music because we had to get ready for Southern. You know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't only half-stepping for Southern,
Right.
But, yeah, man, I always like that. Shout out to all the Tennessee State folks who was there at 97, man. We took an L. We took an L, man. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you. I know you normally do this, but Smash Time asked the question, man. Can I answer that real quick?
Oh, yeah. What'd he say? What'd he ask?
Well, he asked the question he said he see the reason why I transferred from Tennessee State is understandable. How would I prevent, kids? How would I prevent a problem from the kids looking to,
attend your school? That's actually a good question.
Well, one of the things I try to do, Smash, is one of the things I try to do, man, is I try to, tell my story, because my story was similar. Yeah, I mean, my story, whatever I listen to the students is reason, and at Jarvis, yeah, we are a small school, we are, and some certain things that we don't have, but I'm one of the people that I would share my experiences, and not only would I share my experiences, I will go to length to try to whatever I can do to help you succeed. If you feel that leaving is the best move for you, I wouldn't encourage it. But at the end of the day, man, you have to do what's best for you. I do what I do to keep them here because my band is more of I run a strict regimen, but we more of like a family. That you can't run into any of my students out here who I've ever taught in the 16 years that I've been teaching who don't remember, well, whatever greeting I had at the time. Chism, Mr. Chism, Doc, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Who can't take what they learn from me and make it. So, That's what I try to do, man. I try my best to keep them here, but if it's something that's like major related, you know, like for an example, we don't have dentistry here. So if you came here to do, you know, pretty much prerequisites or whatnot, and we don't have dentistry, then I'm gonna guide you to what's probably one of the best dentistries in the state of Texas, which is Baylor. You know, so I will try to get you to go to that. As far as the band go, a lot of the students understand that this is a growing program, and we're going through what you call growing pains. You know, you win some, you lose some. You know, I mean, that's happening. It even happens in some of the major programs. You know, I'm a product of that. You know, I left one good band to go into a band that's building to you know. Everybody know who UAPB is, you know.
Right.
So I hope that answered your question. And could you say your band program too?
Yeah, I'm
gonna do that at the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you do the recruitment pitch at the end.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that at the end.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's a good answer because I actually had a little bit more questions about that. I chopped it up with oh Lord forgive me. So. Tamisha Brock Price or Tamisha Price Brock. I keep messing up her name, yo. But she said it was cool. But then I was like, you know, I'm gonna make sure I learn this. You know what I'm saying? And I still mess it up. It's cause we live. I get nervous. But she said a lot of real interesting things about building a program that I want to ask you about. Because the same thing, Dr. Davenport, he's in Kentucky now trying to build Simmons College. So it's really, I commend you guys for being there and not, let's say, at like a Southern where everything is all, you actually building the program. So that's actually really commendable. So 97, you there. Did you have a memorable experience when you were there at Tennessee State in 97?
I had plenty. But let me tell you my most memorable one. I can tell the story now because I'm grown.
Okay.
We played against North Carolina A&T in 97, man. At the Circle City Classic. And my room got caught up in some iniquities the night before.
Iniquities.
And we got left at the hotel.
Oh.
The next morning. So we had to catch a cab.
Oh.
RCA Dome. And it was only 4 of us now. It was just our room, man.
Oh, that's even worse.
And we were all freshmen. But
hold on, wrong sound. There you go.
You said what?
I said that's the wrong sound. I just gave him the sound.
So we get to the RCA Dome. A&T gets off the bus. And I guess they saw our little band uniforms or something. I don't know. But them boys stood in front of our bus, the whole band, like they was warming up. And when them boys crunk up, man, I'm sorry, Bridgette. When they crunk up, they rumbled our bus, man.
What?
And I said, man, these dudes finna kill us tonight, man. So I sat back. I was just, me and the rest of my little crab brothers, man, was like, man, them boys ain't playing no games, man. God. I'm talking about, bro, they was rumbling the bus when they I'm gonna tell you what they played. They played Fantasy by Earth, Wind and Fire. Just the little intro, the little fanfare part.
Oh.
Dude, I was like,
wow.
So that ain't even the half of it. So the Circle City Classic got that parade going down the street, right?
Yep.
Dude, I'm finna demonstrate this to you. We coming down the street at a 4-way intersection, right? A&T is like right here. Oh, hold on. A&T is like right here. As soon as we got in front of that street, just like this, and they played the loudest hay in the middle of the barn that you would ever hear. It was so loud that everybody got off still.
Wow.
Like, I'm talking like, whoa. I was like, these dudes finna kill us tonight, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because that's kind of similar to what happened to us in 97 when Southern played on us.
I'm talking about, dude, this is like 22 years later, and I still feel that hay in the middle of the barn, man.
Right.
I ain't never heard nothing like that before in my life, man.
Wow. And was that the first time you saw A&T?
That was the very first. I ain't know nothing about no A&T, man. You know, all I knew was whoever we heard about. Tennessee State, right. Jackson State. I heard the myths about FAMU. You know, like I said, this was no YouTube age. You know, if somebody had a cassette tape somehow, videotapes and cassette tapes made it. They did more traveling than postage level.
Right.
Because if somebody had a tape, then it's gonna make it to somebody's house.
Right. Because that was exactly how it was, and that's why I wanted you to say, you know, your experience. We were regional, so my dad went to Jackson State, but we were in Memphis every year. So I saw Jackson State. Now my mom, because she went to Spelman, she talked about FAM because that would be, you know, East Coasters or, you know, folks over there.
Right.
But you wasn't necessarily tripping off no FAM. You wasn't tripping off A&T, and there were a lot of good programs. You know, there was parity back then. It's just we didn't really know about each other. And I remember I went to FAM band camp in 95, and I was like, man, I might go to Jackson State. And they was like, what's Jackson State? What's that? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, they tight. But I would go to Mississippi and say stuff about FAM. They said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely regional.
But you know, Joe, I don't want to discredit YouTube and, you know, and all the things that you guys are doing, you know, with your media, with you and Eddie Meet Me on the 50, and, you know, with the Rogers brothers and all y'all and Showtime, whatever, all y'all the media people that's out there. Listen, I think you guys are doing some wonderful things, man. But man, growing up in that time, man, where the only time you had to see it was to be there, or you might catch it on BET, a little piece of it. Man, those were the times, man.
Right.
Because you never knew what somebody had to come with. You know, you may have heard. Let me see. This was like 90s. Let's say 90s. You may have heard FAMU gonna play "In My Bed" by Drew Hill.
You heard about it.
Somebody had to tell you that.
Right.
Or you literally had to be at the game to check that out, man. I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you, Major Payne. I agree. That was the time to be a bandhead. I'm talking, man, because every Saturday you're gonna get something. You're gonna get something. You know, people don't believe me when I say, man, there was a time when Valley used to be good. You know, people don't believe that. You know, every Saturday in the SWAC, man, you were going to get something, man, from somebody. It wasn't just one side. It was Southern bullying folks or Jackson State coming at folks, or, you know, or you can roll a coin and see if Alabama State going to do something this week, or, you know, no, man, in the SWAC every Saturday, man, it was worth their drive.
Right. And that's real, because I know myself. When people were saying what I was doing, a lot of people were saying, like, man, you know, the YouTube is kind of hurting stuff. And I can't remember the director that told me, but basically he was saying that he wasn't sure if he wanted to start filming his band because he didn't want to let what they were doing out. Whereas he may have to change his show, where when we were coming along, you changed your show for the home. Like, you would maybe change and do a different show on the road, or maybe do a same show on the road, but you only maybe changed it because you was like, oh, well, the home crowd saw us last week.
Right.
Well, this director was saying he was worried that his entire show, the entire season was out there. And he was like, man, I don't want to have my show out there by the 5th game where we go somewhere and they already have seen my show already. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's pros and cons with it. But yeah, man, it was definitely different back in the day where if you had a band tape, you had a VHS tape, and, and it had a whole bunch of band clips on it. You know what I'm saying? They had a whole
Shout out
bunch of
to
shows.
my boy Ryan Hicks, aka Tape Master, because that boy got. I'm talking about if it's a band tape in the 20s, he got
it. yeah. He was on. He did an interview too with Eddie. Meet Me on the 50, and he was saying that like the first couple shows, and I think Killer Kev is in the chat room. I think he said he got that 97 Tennessee State tape somewhere.
Well, I used to have a season tape a long time ago because I got it because I wanted to keep the memory of my first year, man. But I guess one of my crab brothers came in my room and he wanted the memory too and didn't want to pay for it.
I was just about to say, man, everybody got somebody's story. Greg Pettis, in fact, another dude. I don't know if you know Greg Pettis. He from Memphis.
Greg Pettis and I were in the same high school band, bro.
Hold on, man, dude. You know too many people, man. Man, hold on, man. So. I'm gonna bring up Greg because Greg made me mad. So I had the dopest tape of us from '97, and I remember
So if you know Greg Pettis, you know Mario Dennis too, then.
I don't know if I know Mario. I do know Mario. I knew his last name.
All of us was in high school together, man.
I didn't know his last name. Yeah, okay, yeah. So Greg, long story short, Greg stole my tape, man. I was ready to go back to Smith. With my, you know what I'm saying? I just came from Smith. I wanted to go back to Smith on my spring break. I had the dope season of '97 right there ready to go. Greg stole my tape, man. So he showed it. And I need to ask Greg because he stole one of my Johnson C. Smith shirts, too. And he was walking around the yard with a Johnson C. Smith song. I was like, Negro, how you know about Johnson C. Smith? He was like, oh, man, I had this shirt for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man, I found this shirt the other day, man.
Yeah, come on, man. So, yeah, Greg, I just thought about that. Somebody stealing band tapes. Greg from Memphis. He sure did steal my tape, man. All right, so that's what's up, man. So that was your memorable experience. You then broke down the story about you transferring in '98. So now you at UAPB. What was your most memorable experience at UAPB?
Man, don't ask me. That's like asking me how many breaths of air I take every day. Because I ain't no many, bro. I'm just trying to. It went down at the bluff for me, man. I'm just trying to tell you, man. Oh, man. Okay. My greatest experience at UAPB was crossing KK side, man. I just keep it at that.
Okay. All right. So that's actually that rolls into my next question, because you played KK side. So was that '98? Would be '98.
Spring '99.
Spring '99.
Millennium.
Okay, that's right. Right after that season. So then when I saw also that you rocking that black and gold too.
Always, baby.
So when did you pledge Alpha?
I crossed Alpha in the spring of '02. Matter of fact, my birthday coming up on the 30th. Okay.
Because my dad's an Alpha. So I always, you know what I'm saying, shout out to, you know what I'm saying, he pledged at Jackson State. Mm-hmm. So lot of good memories sounding like at UAPB, which is really cool. So KK Psi.
Mr. Graham gave me opportunities, man. I don't think that anybody. I owe it all. Well, not all, but because I got to give some to my high school director too, because he gave me some opportunities. But Mr. Graham, as far as teaching me some ropes as a student, man, I learned a lot under that man. Him and O'Neal Dr. Sanford when he got there as a colleague. Okay. So, but when it comes to not UAPB later on in Jackson State when you asked the question, but I owe Mr. Graham as a student, man, Mr. Graham he took me in, and it was like, I'll tell this story now. He's also a sax player, and he was my applied teacher, and there were times in applies, man, where we didn't even touch the horn. Like, he literally got on me like I was his son, like, like literally, I'm talking some father-son things, man, and there were plenty of times I came out of applied crying. It wasn't because I couldn't play Paul Christian Sonata. It was he had the daddy son me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So man, I just owe it all to Mr. Graham, man. I love that man to death, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, you now. UAPB, you done your thing. You were a music education major there at UAPB?
Well, it's funny, man. I was, but I didn't start out that way.
Okay, that was my question. Did you know
even at Tennessee State, I didn't start out that way. I wanted to be in the band and I wanted to play jazz, but what I wanted to do actually was either go to the FBI Academy, or I've always wanted that life that Steve Harvey have now. You know, I wanted to act, I wanted to be a comedian, I wanted to host a radio show, host a game show. I wanted to do all that. So I entered college kind of double majoring in oral communications and criminal justice because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And so I kept toying back and forward at Tennessee State. And then when I transferred to UAPB, they told me that the two curriculums I couldn't do it. So I went on, chose the criminal justice side. And when that lady told me that all her tests were essay, and her first test was I had to literally write out the first 10 Bill of Rights. Man, I'm 19 years old, man. That's a lot of work. I'm not going to do that. You know? So, you know, I started thinking real close about it, and I went over to the oral communications department, changed my major to that, and I found out the UAPB had a radio station in there. So I was like, cool, man, I get up, you know. Come to find out, they don't let students get on the radio station.
Wow.
So I was like, man, I got to think of something, man. I'm in school. So I went down to Mr. Elliott. He's now Dr. Elliott. He's the department chair at Tennessee State now. Mm-hmm. He was the assistant band director and the drill writer at UAPB when I was there. And he got his doctorate degree at the University of Memphis. And then he left UAPB and became the department chair at Tennessee State. But I went to him, and he was like the theory teacher for Prep Theory 1 and 2. So I went to him. It was like maybe mid-November, right before we was going to get out for Thanksgiving. And I told him, I was like, well, Mr. Elliott, I want to change my major to music, so I'll see you in theory next semester. He was like, oh, no, Rodney, you know, music majors don't work like that. You know, music majors are set up. If you fail one theory class, it'll set you back a whole year.
Yeah.
You know, so he was like, and Rodney, you missed the theory placement exam, so you may need prep theory, so it won't be till next fall before you can take prep theory. He said, but let me just see what you know. So he gave me the test, and, you know, I picked up the test and I looked at it. And I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. So I picked up a pencil, and went down on it. And he said, have you ever taken any theory classes anywhere else? I said, no. That's basic stuff you supposed to know when you first start playing instrument, ain't it?
Right.
So he was like, well, you know, Rodney, I'll see you in Theory 1 next semester.
Nice.
You know, I mean, and the rest is history. You know, I just stayed with it. You know what I'm saying? And the teachers the professors at UAPB thought that I went to a white school before I came here, because theory was it's so second nature to me. You know, and they was wondering how I was so advanced at it and everybody else was struggling.
Right.
And well, I'll say it now. Man, I was getting paid doing everybody else's work, boy. I'll say it now. But they was wondering how was I excelling at it so quick, though. You know, they was wondering that. And like I said, the rest is history. You know, then the first Mr. Graham let me arrange a song, and the first ever song that I ever arranged was that version of Nick that UAPB played. And I did that as a freshman.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I did that as a freshman, and I did it just so I can get picked for KK And
oh, nice.
When I did that, and then Mr. Graham, he said, let me see what else you can do. So he let me do the whole dance routine music for Gremlin, that Gremlin game my freshman year. And then the rest is just is history. You know, I owe it all to also, let me give a shout out to Jerome Hudson, the chief arranger at UAPB as well, because he gave me some nuggets too as far as arranging goes. So good aside brother as well.
So that's interesting. So it's funny, I guess it had to be a part of you, because I remember I started out as a music major too. You know what I'm saying? I was so much of a band head. I just thought like, oh, I'm a major in music, you know. Well, that theory was beating me down. Like I couldn't. I changed. I tried to change. I tried to change my major like the first couple weeks. I was there because it was just rough.
That's what happens.
Yeah, man. So what? I guess you say it comes natural. What part is easy for you? Is it the chords? Did you have to play the piano? I mean, I don't know, man. That's very impressive. I guess what I'm saying, that you were able to do that without having the previous training. Because every person I done chopped it up with that had like some skills in the music, they were already prepared like from high school. You know what I'm saying? When
like I said, when he gave me that test, I looked at it, and it was just like I was looking like, are you kidding me? Like this is what prep theory is about, you know? Like this was stuff that this is stuff that, you know, you should have learned in Standard of Excellence Red Book. You know, I mean, that's the way I saw it, you know. Mm-hmm. And I know some people struggle with it. You know, I don't want to, you know, downplay anybody. You know, music majors aren't for everyone. But when I looked at it, I was just like, are you serious? Really? You know? And the rest is history. And for those of you who are music majors or who, you know, studied, who got far in music, my favorite level of theory was that counterpoint, boy. You get to that counterpoint and that form and analysis, I love it. Yes, that is it. Wow. Shout out to everybody else who can do that too. But I love it. I'm talking about, I'm ready.
Well, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, you've had your training. You have graduated. Now, it's the huge thing. What am I about to do now? I'm out of school or I'm out of undergrad. What was the first thing that you did? You got your degree now. What was the first place you went?
I'm going to Memphis. I'm going to teach in Memphis City Schools because the band scene is on fire in Memphis right now. This was in 2000. I'm talking about some. For those of you who've been around, this is when marching. No, let me get it right. This is when marching sport was at its heat.
You went with Gerard, yeah.
Everything was going on with that, you know, and that's when we really been able to start seeing stuff. You remember that? So the band scene in Memphis was like on fire. So I was like, man, let me go get one of these schools, these unknown schools, build that bad boy on up, and you know, get into the ring of fire. You know. And so I ended up going back to Memphis. You know, my first job was at a school called Tresman High School. And you know, shout out to my predecessor. Her name was Carrie Simon. She's now the assistant DOB at Mississippi Valley now.
Okay.
But she was at that school before me, and you know, she's an excellent teacher, and she graduated some pretty good students. But when I came in there, I kind of changed the vibe. Mm-hmm. And we was trying to put North Memphis on the map then at that point. So my best year that I had was that 07 year, that 06, 07 year. That was my last year at Tresman.
Okay.
And that was my best year at Tresman, man. I'm talking about I took the Osborne High School approach. I don't know if you remember them out of Detroit. One year, this was maybe 02, maybe. Osborne wasn't very big at all. They had like maybe 4 of everything, like literally 4 baritones, 4 trombones, 4 drums, 4 mellophones, 4 tubas, and they were smashing everybody. So in 07, in Tresman, I had just about that. The only thing that I didn't have was I had 6 trumpets instead of 4. But I literally had 4 baritones, 4 trombones, 4 tubas. Like I was like a mini Osborne at that point. And when I tell you Osborne was out there, and I was on fire. Like I was talking mad noise. You know when you ain't got no, you gonna be quiet and humble.
Right.
I was talking mad noise. I'm talking about we had the Bodacious Battle of the Band that year in Memphis. And I'm talking about everybody that came through that tunnel got it from us, boy. I'm talking about we was sitting back waiting. The only somebody that didn't catch it, I wasn't doing it. I wasn't ready for the big dog. It was Fairley. Fairley was about almost 200 deep. We weren't ready for them yet. We weren't ready for them yet. You know, and Whitehaven hadn't came out yet. So, you know, those were the big dogs in the city. But everybody else came through there. I'm talking about some dude. Everybody got it from us, man. And we ain't repeat the song not one. So I ended up leaving Tresvant, man. And that's when Hardaway kind of introduced me. You know, he took me down to Jackson and introduced me to Dr. Liddell. And, you know, he said something about the Boom was looking for, you know, somebody to be a steady arranger for the band. Mm-hmm. So, you know, Hardaway went down there, pulled me up, and, you know, Dr. Liddell told me, you know, I had just got a master's in secondary ed at that point. But Doc told me that in order for me to work at Jackson, I had to have a master's in music. Okay. So when I saw that Jackson had one, you know, Doc made me his grad assistant.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, Doc made me his grad assistant. So, I mean, and I used to think Dr. Liddell used to haze me, man, because that dude used to, man, anytime something came on the radio, he'd be like, Chism, I need you to do this. And, you know, and I mean, because it wasn't nothing for me to shoot out an arrangement and I mean, when do you need it by? I need it by tomorrow. You know, I was really done, you know? And so I ended up, you know, going to, you know, part-time down there in Jackson. And then I spent 1 year in the 07, 08, one more year in Memphis City Schools. And there was a high school called Hillcrest High School.
Okay, I think I heard of that before.
Oh, yeah, that was my last year in public schools, man, in that 07, 08 year. And then I went to Jackson full-time that fall of 08. And, you know, the very first song that I was able to put out there for Jackson that just kind of made folks be like, hey, who is this guy here? Was that Taxi. You know, we played that Taxi, and then next thing you know, they started asking for other things. So when Taxi came out, and then I did Tell Me What You Want Me to Do by Tevin Campbell, and then I turned around and Karamu had asked me to do Let's Stay Together for the Southern Heritage Classic. So, I mean, I was putting them out that year, like, and everybody was like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much how my legacy got started, you know, into this college realm, man. But that Taxi, man, is what put me out there, man.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, because I was actually gonna ask what was your pieces that put you out there. So it was that Taxi, and I have heard that Taxi. So that puts it together when I was hearing your name, because I started doing the show in 2012. So how long were you there at Jackson State, and do you have a memorable experience there with the Boom?
The Boom taught me how to live, man.
Right. Of course.
I'm just saying, because, you know, I was, to be totally honest with you, now since we on the Boom, man, I want to give, you know, a shout out to Dr. Liddell for, you know, giving me the opportunity that he did. And then I want to give a shout out to Ronaldo Murray, because when he became the interim director of bands, he was the one that gave me my full-time job on the band staff. Okay. You know, so yeah, and then I want to give, you know, another shout out to, you know, people like Lowell Hollinger and Rod Little for, you know, keeping the thing going, man. Because you know, if nobody else loved the Boom, I haven't met anybody that loved the Boom as much as Lowell Hollinger. Like,
I agree.
I mean, that's my dog. That's my frat, man. I love you, Diff, man. If you're watching, man, you know, man, I give a shout out to you, man, all the time. Lowell Hollinger was also one of the ones that was giving me some hell, but I know what it was about. Lowell Hollinger was keeping me life, man. And like I said, and I love that guy, man. I love that guy to the day, man. For some reason, when I see Lowell, I get hyped, man, you know? Because He's the one that kind of kept me on my toes, and he kind of kept me pushing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
man. It's good to actually see him in that position too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Lowell is
smart.
That man is great, man.
Yeah, he was smart in school, man. So it's good that I like where he is. I ain't gonna say it.
Also, I talk about Taxi a lot, man. But if I had to pick a favorite tune that I did for the Boom, man, it had to be in 2011. And that's when I did that What's Love Got to Do With It. Like, I even sit back and listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a few but that What's Love Got to Do With It, man. I love that piece out of any of all the pieces that I've ever done, man. And my second place piece would have had to been in 2009 when I did Man in the Mirror. That's when Michael Jackson had passed away. So,
right.
I was sitting back looking for tunes, man, that I ain't think nobody else was gonna touch. Mm-hmm. And so but that What's Love Got to Do With It, man. If you hadn't heard it, you need to go back and check that out, man. I that's like my favorite one ever. And my favorite tune by the Boom, like the greatest tune ever. And you may say this as a trumpet player. You may cuss me out, Joe. But my favorite tune by the Boom is that damn Brazilian Rhymes, man.
Oh, really? Brazilian? Really? You like the Brazilian? You like? Oh, really?
Dude, I used to lose it every time we played that, man. Because that's like my favorite song ever by the Boom, bro. Dude, ever. I can sit back and listen to Brazilian Rhymes all day long, man. That's like nothing. Jack Stan got to play nothing. They just play Brazilian Rhymes one time, man. Yeah. I'm done. I ain't got to hear nothing else. That's my favorite song ever, man.
Yeah, it's funny. We played that at Smith, but Smith was, Smith had a kind of, with Mr. Gray, it was like fast tempo. We kind of like pushed the tempo with everything. But when I got to the Boom and we played a Brazilian Rhyme, it was like right in the pocket. It was like right in the cut. You know what I'm saying? Because Jackson State, we ain't rushing nothing. We ain't in a hurry to do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We chilling. So, yeah, I got some good memories of that song. And it was easy because it's a trumpet player. You know what I'm saying? You memorize that song as soon as you know what I'm saying? You
know what, though? You know what, though? Because I had a tendency of when I was in the Boom, I had to study the Boom when I was arranging. So, you have to figure out, okay, what sound does the Boom want to have for this?
Right.
So I studied Daltella, his arrangements. I studied Mr. Adams. I studied Dr. Magruder's. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like between those three guys. So when I wrote Love the Way You Lie in 2010, I wrote it just like Lamar Gully did Brazilian Rhymes.
Oh, wow.
And if you go back and just listen to it and pay attention and then listen to Brazilian, I wrote that exactly. Just like that. It had an old, because I'm going to tell you something. We played that song in the band room when I was teaching it. I was on the podium. I was nervous. Because I didn't think the band was going to take to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, man, we played like the first 2 or 3 notes. And the way that those lower brass chords hit me, I was like, oh, no, y'all got to play this. And in Jackson State Band Room, the regular bands is up there on the wall. Woo, man, when they played that thing, the room shook, and I thought Mr. Holland was going to fall, man. That's how bad. I was up there floating. I was like, I love it. We going to pass on it over this one, boy.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So let me ask you this before I leave Jackson State. Was there any challenges when you were there as the band director? Because the only challenge. So what challenge? Because the only thing I saw on problem we had was like hazing, But that wasn't like a problem for us. Like we like.
Are you talking about just challenges in the band or challenges with me?
Or challenges as you as a director. Like you as a director, like what was the challenge
Me
that
as
is
a
in your
director,
job?
man, and you know, you being the son of the program, man, I'm pretty sure that you can understand this. You know, me not being a son of the program, you know how HBCUs, we're very territorial about, you know, who we have.
And how we march and all that stuff.
In our clubhouses. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I think I was there. I got there, you know, like I said, I got there in you know, full time in 08. And I don't think people knew my name, man, until like maybe 11 or 12, man. Because, you know, I was, you know, that nigga from Pine Bluff ever since I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knew my name. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know, and you know, some of the stuff that I used to hear, man, you know, I was only there because I was trying to spy on the boom for Pine Bluff. I was trying to steal music from the boom so Pine Bluff can play it. I'm trying to get the boom to sound like Pine. I mean, dude, I heard it all. You know what I'm saying? And,
wow.
You know, once I finally learned, I mean, yeah, that stuff it drove me crazy for a long time, man. You know, but you know, like I said, I won't give up my boom experience for nothing, man, because it taught me to get out of this bubble that I was in, man. Boom taught me reality. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know, and it wasn't from like the band staff or, you know, it wasn't even so much as some of the immediate people that was in the band. There was a lot of alumni, you know, and, you know, people that come around and, you know, there were some band members, but, you know, I can always bag my stuff up. You knew when an arrangement was finna come out by Chism, it was gonna actually be something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But and I think another issue was when you had certain student arrangers that tried to put stuff out, and when Murray made me the chief arranger, so to speak, you know, a lot of the students were thinking that I was just hating on them and thinking that, you know, that I wasn't trying to give them any opportunities. But when I was actually trying to show them, listen, you should fix this, you should fix this. You know, a lot of people out there are finale arrangers, man. And when I taught the arranging class at Jackson State, you know, they never touched finale or any kind of music software until their final exam. They had to do everything by hand. Because I want to make sure that you can actually do it. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, and Matt, I want to give one big shout out to one of my student proteges, and you probably wouldn't heard his name. His name is Travis Pruitt.
Yeah, man, you know Travis too, man. Damn, man, you know everybody, man.
Yeah, Travis is one of my student proteges, man. In 2009, man, when I was, you know, Travis lived with me that whole calendar year from spring 09 all the way through the fall. I mean, Travis stayed with me, and Travis was like, "Hey, Chism, man, I want to start doing some arranging, man." You know, and I took Travis in, and man, Travis. Well, you know, you hear MAAB now, so you know what Travis do.
Yeah. I got him on the docket because I want to interview him too, but man, it's so hard to pull the interviews and get them worked out together. But he is on my list. I actually, every time I think of him, every time I see something that I want Jackson State to play, I think about it. I was like, man, I'm gonna send this link to Travis. You know what I'm saying? Because I got one in my head that I want to send. I would like to see Jackson State play in the fall, but I still ain't sent it to him yet. Travis too.
I know in this case, because Jackson State have a system now, so you would have to either send it to Little or either Mr. Kevin Johnson.
Okay. That make I'm glad you told me that because I think
you have to send that to one of them guys, and Kevin is amazing too, man. But yeah, man, that was like some of my that was the strong thing that I had going at Jackson State, man. But you know, I'm glad that I did. And Mr. Taylor came back in 2012 and you know, became Superman and reverted the band, and you know, I stayed there 2 seasons after that, and that's when I went on.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you were there when I started doing the show. So then, what happened after you left Jackson State?
Well, O'Neal Sanford got there in 12.
Right.
And O'Neal Sanford kind of, took me in under his wing, and he became another father-like figure to me in this game. And one of the things at Jackson State, I gotta say this. One of the things at Jackson State was Jackson State let me taste another ensemble that wasn't under the marching band rim. In 2009, spring 10, Dr. Ware, I think his mother or somebody passed away. Somebody passed away in his family.
The trumpet player, was it David Ware, the trumpet player?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had him for Applied. My 97.
He was the director of the jazz ensemble too at that time.
Okay.
And it was time for us to do our spring concert, and he couldn't do it. So Dr. Thomas, you know Russell Thomas now.
Yeah.
So he called me up. He was like, "Bro, Chism, all right, we need you to do the ensemble." And I thought about you. And I got you, Doc. No problem. I went and kicked it. Doc, that fall, I was the director of the jazz ensemble too. So
wow.
I started putting all my energy more in that because I was like, man, I like this. Wait a minute, smaller group. This where I can get recognized. That hey, let me, because the jazz ensemble too was a group that it was like, the jazz one had these all staters and top notch musicians. With
really
jazz.
Good, really good.
We had the people who can barely blow their nose, man. You know what I'm saying? So the mere fact that I was able to take this group and if not compete them on the same level as Jazz One, I was on this coattail just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that time, man, I'm talking about Jackson State's jazz was like kicking tail. I'm talking about we had the Jazz One that was smoking, Jazz Two was smoking, the vocal jazz was smoking, Dr. Ware had the combo, they was smoking. I'm talking about, dude, it was like, wow. When it's time for the jazz on the plaza, man, you never know what you was gonna get, man. You was missing something. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people don't know that. But Jackson State, the Sonic Boom of the South, it's like that because of the actual music program.
Exactly.
And that's something people really don't know, really don't understand. Because I know a lot of people love A&T, and a lot of those programs are great. Now, I'm not taking anything away from them, but the difference in the actual music program itself at Jackson State is, I think FAMS is really, really good, but I don't know too many other music programs that are like that. My experience was I was a bandsman. I wasn't necessarily a trumpet player until I found out what I didn't know on the trumpet when I got to Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually started to learn how to actually play my horn as an actual trumpet player. Well, as you know, we had the symphonic band, mm-hmm. and we had the concert band.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember one of the quests that I had is in the summertime, or in the spring, I would have to try to play myself into the symphonic band because I wasn't good enough to be in the symphonic band. It was too hard. But the concert band pieces, I was like, well, hold up now. This is supposed to be easy, or it's supposed to not be. It's supposed to be a little bit of a difference, But that concert band music was challenging. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was like, man. I might have to get out of music. But it really made me realize that the Sonic Boom of the South is really built on that actual music program. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and see, and that's one thing I like about Jackson State. I can't speak for too many others because I don't know. So let me throw that out there. But yes, Jackson State, I'm talking about like at this point, I think, there was a concert band, there was a symphonic band, there was an orchestra,
right.
Taylor has it set up with 2 jazz ensembles, a vocal jazz, a combo. You got the chorale, you got the gospel singers, we got opera in there. And then we're not gonna talk about the woodwind ensemble. I mean, the chamber ensemble, the woodwind ensemble, brass ensemble, the percussion ensemble. You know, I started a saxophone choir when I was there.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
So I mean, Jackson State. You know, say what you want to, but you know, I know that this place is, you know, has it. You know,
right.
I'm mad that they don't have a doctorate in music there.
I know, right? I know, right? And speaking of this, you said orchestra. Real quick, I wanted to put out another name for you. Janetta Powell. I don't know if you know her, but she's from Memphis. She lives in Durham, North Carolina now. But she
I know Janetta Powell.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, yeah. Well, she said because I think she said she knew you too, or she recognized the name. But that was what she said, was that how she ended up at Jackson State, because she's from Memphis. And she was thinking about
a school called Overton. That's
performing arts. Performing arts. That's right. And she was like, I kind of want to go to Tennessee State, but Jackson State actually had the orchestra. So that's how she ended up down there. So yeah, man, that music program was just no joke. You know what I'm saying? Like it was the real deal. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to the department. So you said it was 2014?
Yeah, it was fall 14 when I left.
Okay, so where did you go after that?
Well, like I said, O'Neal kind of took me under his wing, and he was telling me, you know, he was critiquing me and all the ensembles, and he was like, Rodney, I think you're ready to go out and get your own program. So, you know, I started looking for jobs, and, you know, kind of, you know, O'Neal's opinion kind of mattered to me, you know, and I started looking for jobs, and I applied. Let me tell you the places I all applied and interviewed for that year. I applied at Langston and interviewed. They offered me the job.
Okay.
Fayetteville State, Kentucky State, Stillman, and Lane College.
Okay.
You know, so I didn't know much about Lane, but I interviewed for it, and the vibe wasn't right to me. And that's what pretty much what all of them was, you know, to me. But it was only one that I didn't get offered a job to was the Kentucky State one. But the others did. And Fayetteville State seemed like that, you know, that would have probably been the best spot for me. So I went and took the job at Fayetteville State. Okay. You know, now I stayed at Fayetteville State only 1 year. That was between 14 and 15. And I was building relationships and, you know, doing what I was doing, you know, with the local band directors. You know, shout out to Roosevelt Pratt. Shout out to James Davis. Shout out to James Richardson. Shout out to Charles Connor.
I was just about to say, I saw you had a picture with Charles Connor. I said, man, I just did an interview with Charles Connor a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Charles is one of my best friends, man. You know, Charles, you know, real good guy. So, you know, I had to give it a shout out, and that's where I first met Brandon Rogers too, man. You know the Rogers brothers.
Right,
man, you know?
Right.
Yeah, you know, he's from the area, and he came up, and you know, one of his partners that played trumpet for me, you know, Brandon and I used to sit back and talk a lot, man. And I just started meeting people, man, and I learned a lot at Jackson State, but one thing I didn't learn at Jackson State was the game of politics. I didn't learn it because I've always said that, you know, I never want to play them. I never want to get involved. I just want to come to work, build my program, and do what I do.
Right.
But, you know, and that's kind of one of the reasons, you know, why I'm not there now. You know, at the time, you know, it was kind of some things going on, and I didn't play ball. And, you know, it is what it is, you know. Right. I'm now at one of those if I knew then what I know now kind of situations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you know, but Fayetteville State was I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. So, and how I ended up here at Jarvis.
Okay.
my vice president at the time, his name was Dr. Marcus Cheney. He's now the vice president at Lincoln University. But he and I worked together at Jackson State.
Okay.
And he was like, you know, he knew some people that he wanted it to build. You know, they want to build a band program here. So he left Jackson State in 13. So he still thought that I was still at Jackson State. So he called me up in 14. And I mean, yeah, he left a year before I did. So he calls me up in the spring of 15, and he was like, "Hey, Rodney, what's going on, man?" I said, "Doc, what's going on, bro?" He was like, "Hey, man, I'm at this school in Texas. You ready to have your band program?" I already got my own band program. What you talking about, Doc? You not in Jackson State no more? No, man, I'm in North Carolina now. He's like, "Oh, man." He said, "Man, we got this school down here called Jarvis Christian College. You ever heard of it?" I said, "No." And he said, "Man, little old school down here, man." He said, "Man, I tell you what, we'll fly you out here, man. And you know, kind of interview you, and you know," he kind of basically told me I had the job before I even.
Right.
You know, I like Fayetteville. What are you talking about? You know.
Right.
So I said, so I was like, you know, one thing I always learned from O'Neal is, ain't nothing wrong with going on the interview. You know, you can go on the interview. So I went out there and got out here, and it's like, man, this small campus, man. You know what it is, you know. Oh, you know, I got out here, but when he introduced me to the provost, you know, shout out to Dr. Glenelle Lee Pruitt, you know, she was a cool lady, and I met President Newman and started meeting some of the people. These people, some pretty nice folks around here, you know. I was like, man, nah, I'm loving it. He said, "All right, Rodney." He pulled out that contract, and I saw that salary. I said, "Look, I'm out. Let's make this happen. Let's make it work."
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Look,
so
he sold it to me, man. Pulled out this the same pen right here.
So where is Jarvis, like in relation to the major cities there in Texas?
Jarvis, we are about an hour and a half outside of Dallas. Okay.
Okay, so Dallas. Okay.
Yeah, Dallas is the closest, like, metropolitan, like, literally where we are right now. If you go about an hour and a half west, that's about maybe 85 miles, maybe.
Okay.
It's Dallas.
Okay.
Go an hour and a half east, that'll put you in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay. So I know where you are. So are you what's that other school? Is Paul Quinn in Dallas?
Paul Quinn is in Dallas, but you're probably thinking about Texas College.
Texas College is the one because they got a band, right?
Yeah, Texas College is in Tyler. That's the city that I actually live in.
Okay. Now, is that a black school, Texas College?
It is.
Wow.
It is.
Man, I didn't. So these schools are like, have they always been? How long has Jarvis Christian College been around?
Jarvis been around since 1912, boss man.
Wow, man, I didn't even know that we had that many HBCUs out there.
I tell you what. The next time you get an opportunity with somebody with one of them HBCU shirts, just look at all the schools on the back. You gonna be Jarvis back there. Right. I never heard of the place either, but you know, I mean, it's off in the cut. It is. But you know, it's not a bad place. You know, I'm giving it to the recruitment piece. Hold up, man.
There you go.
we ain't ready for that yet.
But that's all good. So, what would you say so far has been your most memorable experience? And then what would you say is a challenge being there at Jarvis?
Well, my most memorable experience, man, is just, you know, just my most memorable one is in 15 when I first got here. We had maybe 12 folks, you know, that I just randomly found around campus because before I got here, you know, there was a guy that was here before me. His name was Emmanuel Scales. You know, I got to give him a shout. And Emmanuel Scales, you know, he had a bunch of drummers here. You know, he tried to do the horn thing, but you know, it was, you know, sometimes, you know, things can be, you know, unmotivating. The environment can be, you know. So, you know, you have to be a special person, you know, to be able to handle an animal like Jarvis, you know.
Right.
But my most memorable moment would be that when I first got here in 15, and then I have to give a shout out to my one of my homeboys that's the band director at Green Oaks Performing Arts School in Shreveport. His name is Jeremiah Furlow. He had some students. And, you know, because we all marched in the band in Pine Bluff, and he was like, in Shreveport, it's like right up the street. And he was like, hey, man, hey, I can send something to you. So, you know, those people, you know, were the you know, the nucleus of the band program, man. And there were some students here, like, you know, shout out to my student director, Jay Wright. You know, she been holding it down since she been here. Then I had one of my best friends out of Memphis. His name is Michael Cowan.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I interviewed him.
No, it ain't that one. It's another one.
Oh, word? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah. His name, but Michael was one of my friends. I told all my partners this. Every last one of my friends, every last one of them. I said that if I ever get a band program and I can control my scholarship budget, if you ever need to finish your degree, come holler at me. So in 2015, Michael called me on that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, come on down, man. You know, you done had some classrooms. So Michael serves as my assistant. He was, you know, my assistant director here.
Okay.
So, you know, Michael has been with me on this long journey, this little ride that we call the S3, the Sophisticated Sounds of Soul.
Nice.
And so Michael has been here with me on that. So my memorable is in 15, when we first started. And, you know, I'm so used to, you know, coming from programs like your Jackson States and UAPBs and being at Fayetteville State and stuff like that, you know, where there's a certain product that you got to put out. But, you know, I'm in a program where there was probably absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I'm sitting back with this professional mindset, like, you know, man, I can't go out there looking like that, man. What is, you know? But I'm going to tell you what I finally called it. We were marching around at the school, the band. We not have an instrument to name. All they yelling was 4, 8. 4, 8. That's all they was doing. Everybody bringing their camera phones out. Oh, look, the band look good. The band look good. They know. So I went around and went against every band director grain and taught them I'm So Glad by rote. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, I thought just so we can have one song to play. And they came out and, we got a band now. So, you know, once you give them that, you got to start giving them more.
That's right.
So, you know, I had a pretty big class that came in the fall of 16. So all of a sudden, we went from like 18 kids to like 47.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's pretty large for Jarvis. You see what I'm saying? So, and then we, you know, went from that 47 and 47 to 48 and 16 to in 17 we went up to maybe 60.
Okay.
So, and then I didn't do too well in recruitment this past fall. So yeah, we're actually growing. We're actually growing, and we're doing some things. You know, the president called me in the office the other day, and he said that he wanted a larger group, and he asked me, and I told him I need some more money. You know, them presidents can do that, and they know who to call, and they know. So, Dr. Newman Dr. Newman gave me a set number. So, any of you band directors that's watching, if I can't make it to your city, check your mailbox, because I got something in there for you. You know, I'm just saying, I got it in there for you. And you asked me about my greatest challenge. My greatest challenge is the mere fact that we are in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
You know, and a lot of the students don't, you know, if they don't know you, they're not gonna come. But, you know, give Jarvis a shot. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're not missing any, you know. one of my things I always ask people, and this is me not downplaying any of your larger programs, your Southerns, your Jackson, your PVs, you know, A&Ts. I'm not down to any of your programs, but one of the things I always like to ask a student, you know, is your name, I'm going to use you as an example, is your name Joe Beard or is your name 782218? And they be like, Joe Beard. Exactly, because if you go to a larger school, you're going to be a number. Come to Jarvis, everybody know everybody around here, man. Like, for real. You know, we have roughly 1,000 students on campus. You know, we have all sports except for football, but I'm hoping that changes pretty soon. What type of performances? We do a lot of, you know, local things. We go up to Dallas, we go to Shreveport, you know, we do a lot of in-house stuff here. But this fall, you know, yeah, I'm gonna start being in the conversation in people's mouth. I really am. I'm just trying to do what I need to do to make it happen here at Jarvis, man. And I'm not even so much as looking for the top-notch musicians at all time. You know what I'm saying? You know, send me that if you had to rate a player from 1 to 5, 5 being great and 1 being, you know, that person just holding the horn. I'll take a 1, 2, or 3 because I vowed to be a teacher. Mm-hmm. And maybe my teaching method couldn't work for you, for that child. I mean, your teaching method couldn't work for that child, but mine will. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Jarvis, we believe in giving any and everybody an opportunity. You know, here's something that we do. We don't have engineering here. We don't have nursing here. We don't have dentistry here. But no, we don't have those here. But we have a partnership with the University of Texas in Tyler. Says that if you spend 2 years at Jarvis, you get to go to those other schools for free for your junior senior year.
Oh wow, okay. And then you can then transfer.
Yeah, it transfers over. You know, but there's one catch. You gotta go to class and you gotta keep at least a 3-point. What is it? It's a 3-point GPA. I know that because those particular fields and majors are very competitive.
Yeah.
So barely slipping through the cracks, then you're not going to be able to get in. Let's see. Our business department are nationally accredited. They just passed that last semester. Our social work is nationally accredited. Our education is nationally accredited. The school is accredited by SACS. So you come to Jarvis, you're not getting a piece of tissue paper. You're actually getting a degree that actually weighs something. You can actually look all this information up. You know, we have music as a major again in the fall. Right now, if people are applying, it's listed under interdisciplinary studies with the emphasis in music. But we're going to have a BA. So with our department, with Dr. Lee, Dr. Lee, Dr. Beers, myself, and Mr. Bruce Thompson. You probably know Bruce Thompson, man. He was teaching at Johnson C. Smith at one point in time.
That sounds familiar. That Thompson.
He was the choir director at Johnson C. Smith.
I need to see his face because there was a woman there.
Another thing about Jarvis is 90% of the faculty here are doctors.
Yeah.
So you know, there are very few Misters and Mrs. Brown here. It's doctor, you know, it's doctor this and which is a great thing. You know, I mean, even so much as the director of human resources is a doctor. You know, so we mean business around here at Jarvis. We really do. When our president, Dr. Newman, got here, the graduation rate was extremely low, but is now climbing up the chart. We went from I think 9% until it has gone up into like the mid-20s now. You know, so we're growing. You know, we're actually growing.
One thing I can say as far as probably something that's true about your program, I've never been there before, but when I was at Smith, there was definitely a family atmosphere in the band. So, as you could attest to, a lot of times, especially probably when you were at UAPB, your closest friends, other than your crab brothers were but it was usually the people in your section with you. Like, those were the closest people, and those kind of were who you hung with. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I'm sure at your school and my experience at Smith, man, like, the whole band was cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, one person I thought about when you talked about your building a program was Chris Jones. Chris told me that he's come to a band camp to help with your drum majors. So my relationship with Chris when at Smith, you know, he was a drum major, but he was like one of my best friends. And same thing with this dude Craig, who was in the tuba. Like, we were all on the same page regardless of our instruments. Versus like when I went to Jackson State, you know, pros and cons and stuff, but I was really close with the guys who played trumpet. And even to this day now, I see somebody that I march with on Facebook, and I don't really know them like that. You know what I'm saying? So I guess definitely, I know Jarvis. I'm sure that you guys have a real good family atmosphere.
We do. And that's one of the things that I even try to instill in all of the students. You know, what happens in the band room, you know, that's us. You know, and everybody who's watching this can attest to this. But when you think of a band member or a band or just a person just in the band, period, you think of that person as being a wolf. And do you know the evolution of a wolf? A wolf never travels alone. Mm-hmm. You know, or if you think that you see a wolf by himself, chances are there's a few wolves that's either close or nearby. Now, Joe, as a band member, don't we operate the same way?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying. It don't matter where you go. Joe, you can get up and go to the mall right now, right where you at. I bet you gonna run into at least 5 band members in there.
Oh yeah, yeah, that happens all the time out here.
You know, just not where you at, anywhere. Right. Because, and that's what that's the example that I teach with my students. You know, a band member, we stick together no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we gonna argue. Yes, we gonna fuss. We gonna fight. We gonna cuss each other. And I ask them all the time, how many of y'all got siblings in the room? Raise your hand. They raise their hand. How many of y'all done fought your sibling before? Okay. Now, do you hate your sibling to this day? No, exactly. When you fight your brother or your sister, do you take it to school the next day and tell everybody about it? No, why not? Because it was in your house. That's how we are in this room. You know what I'm saying? Every band member in the world is your brother or your sister. Y'all may not come from the same house, but y'all cousins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There were 10 schools in the SWAC. UAPB was my house. You know what I'm saying? But we knew people in Prairie View Band. We knew people in Texas Southern. We knew people in Valley. We knew people in Alcorn. You know, we knew people in Jackson, Southern, Grambling, the Alabama schools. We knew people in every band. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that works, you know.
Well, that's what's up, man. That's
and then Chris came up here in that 16 year. That year that I told you that I had my big class. Chris came up here, he did my drum majors. We did the march aerobics thing. As a matter of fact, the march aerobics thing, man, it took out pretty well out here, man, because man, my students, it was funny because some of my larger students, when they was doing it, and Chris had them doing it, man, they was losing weight, and you could see it. like Yeah, you can see it in their faces. Their faces all small and stuff. Chris birthed them that year, man, and it got to the point where we started selling Monster Robies around the school, man, and man, people started coming over there and doing it and having fun with us and all that stuff, man. I mean, it was. I mean, I gotta give it up to Chris, man. He got a product with the Monster Robies, and I'll be remiss if I fail to mention another facet to my team. My dance line. I have a bunch of beautiful young ladies that go by the Gold Rush.
Gold Rush. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, they are some very talented young ladies. You know, shout out to Shatavia Greg. You know, we call her Smurf. You know, she she puts up with Doc going off on them all the time. But you know, that's my captain. I love her to death, and you know, she's from Shreveport. You know, she's Miss whatever, one of these queens, Miss Junior, I think. She's doing her thing, honor student, you know, she's into research, you know, and trying to find cures for counsel around the school, but she still manages to do what she do. So, you know, Shantae, you keep doing what you're doing, baby. You raising the bar for Gold Rush. My niece Bria Marr, she was the one that pioneered and started it. Mm-hmm. And Shantae just took behind her. So, shout out to Gold Rush.
That's what's up, man. Well, we're getting towards the end of the interview, and I knew it was going to be longer, man. We've been talking 2 hours, man. We've been talking for a minute, so I knew it was going to be long. But, yeah, you did your recruitment pitch, but is there anything else that you want the listeners to know about Jarvis? And is there anything that you want the young musicians or the young music majors, any advice that you have for them, or even as even as your students, any advice that you have for your students?
Well, listen, I want to give this to first of all, if there's any band directors or young students watching, high school students or anybody, don't be afraid to give a small school a chance. A lot of us can't make it in big schools. Mm-hmm. Bigger schools. One of the other things that between Tennessee State and UAPB at the time, Tennessee State was a big world, and UAPB was a small campus at the time. So that was also another reason why I was able to flourish into what I'm doing. So give a small school a chance. If I'm in Texas, so I have to reference these schools. If you living down here and you want to go to Texas Southern or Prairie View, it's not the end of, and you can't get in. It's not the end of the world. Jarvis Christian College, right here in Hawkins, Texas. Hit me up. I got something for you. You know what I'm saying? I got something for you. I don't care what you play. You're gonna get you a degree. You're going to get a good band experience, and then you're going to learn something here about life and everything in the world. So, Jarvis Christian College, like I said, give it a chance. You may not know what you can do until you actually do it. Mm-hmm. When I was a high school band director, one of the things that I wanted to go to Tennessee State, and I did. And I understand that there are several students. When I was a high school band director, I used to ask my students, where do you want to go to school at? And my job was pretty much to get them there. I didn't force UAPB on my students because that's where I went to school.
Right.
If you wanted to go to UAPB, let's get you a UAPB, because I want you to feel that you're going to be happy. Mm. And if you can't get into the school that you wanted to get to, then I'll send them to UAPB because I know I can get them there. You
right.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know Mr. Graham will probably kill me if he heard me say that, but but you have to give it a chance though. So I say that to say this, you may not get into these larger schools. Like I said, where I'm at right now, Texas Southern is only 3 hours away from me.
Right.
Prairie View is 3.5 maybe. Grambling is only 2 from me. So I'm in the middle of all these giants. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so if a lot of you all can't make it, Jarvis Christian College is come on out here. Give me a call. 903-730-4890. Extension 2153. You know, hit me up. I got you. Or rchism@jarvis.edu. You know. So and so yeah, come on out. You know what I'm saying? If you want to Skype me, you want to FaceTime me, look me up on Facebook, Rodney D. Chism. You know, I'm on Instagram. Our Instagram is Sophisticated Sounds of Soul. You know, on Instagram. You know, I ain't got the Snapchat. I don't know how to do that. I'm an old guy. So.
Yeah, I ain't picked that up either. Well, that's what's up, Rodney, man. I appreciate it, man. I give you a round of applause. Definitely sound like you're doing your thing and you on your way. And I'm excited for you, man. I'm pulling for you, man, because I like the parody. I like saying that, you know, there's so many bands out there. You know what I'm saying? So putting Jarvis on the map. Now, is there any performances we can look for you guys in the fall?
Well, I'm working that schedule out right now. Mr. Christian at Whitehaven asked us to if we would try to do an appearance at the Southern Heritage Classic Battle of the Band. So I'm trying to you know, do the inner workings for that. And let's see, as far as that go, we have a few parades here and there that we got going on. So I mean, I'm getting phone calls, you know, for people to come and try to get us to play in places, and I'm glad, because my students, we need that exposure, and we need to, you know, when I was talking to Bridgette a while back, I said, yeah, it's time for us to go on out here. I can't hide them no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Time for us to come on out here and let these band connoisseurs eat them alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, go ahead.
So yeah, it's been too long. So you know, when you see that blue and gold come down the street, it ain't the one that y'all think it is. It's gonna be something else. So, Jarvis, yeah, tell everybody, come on out to the doghouse. Okay. Come on out to the doghouse. It go down at the J. It do. It goes. Hey, let me say something. It's our homecoming week this week, y'all.
Okay. Yeah,
so you know, I kind of slid up here from, you know, we had a little kickoff pep rally, and I had to slide up here after that. So you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's our homecoming, and so I want to say happy homecoming to all the Jarvis alum who's out there watching and whatnot, and I want to give a shout out to my girl Nadia Johnson, babe. I love you. I hope you watch me, and I hope you saw this. You know what I'm saying? You know, she out there in Florida doing her thing.
I give you a round of applause. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up, Rodney, man. Well, I sure appreciate your time, man. It was a really good talk, and now I got you hooked up. So you know, I'll be probably hollering at you all throughout the year and everything. And if it's something else, you know, you need for Jarvis or something, let us know. I think one thing that would be good, because I was talking to Dr. Davenport about it, was allowing, if you guys have some students coming to your school, let us know, and we can feature them on the National Signing Day for marching bands. Because that would be probably
that's
good.
A great idea that you guys are doing with that National Signing Band thing, the Signing Day thing, man.
Yeah.
That's one great idea, man.
Yeah, so I would like to highlight your school and, you know, highlight Simmons too, help you guys get off the ground, you know what I'm saying, a little bit. So yeah, I'll be in talks with you about that as we move forward. But yeah, man, anything else before we at the end of the podcast, anything else you wanted to say before we sign off?
No, man, I thank you for having me on, and for everybody that's out there in the chat room, man. Thanks for, you know what I'm saying, your comments and things like that. I'm pretty sure that you're gonna talk about it later on, and you know, smash time. Hit me up, man. I'm looking for you, man. Hit me up, you know. And thanks again, Joe, for having me. Bridgette, thanks for, you know, recommending me to be on the show, and man, I hope to work with you guys even further in the future, man.
Oh, you definitely will. You definitely will. Since I know you pretty much know everybody. I already know you, Rodney, man.
Yeah. We know each other, Joe. We
For real.
we defend each other. We just battled each other. I'm sure.
I know. That's crazy. Well, that's what's up, man. I sure appreciate it, y'all. Rodney Chism, Director of Bands there at Jarvis Christian College. All right, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact us, and we'll give you the criteria so we can start to pub your business using our platform. You see down there at the bottom, the little ticker, and you got the commercials. Shout out to SmokeeOs Barbecue. Let me just give a round of applause. That is now like the hottest commercial on the streets. People that they don't know nothing about that SmokeeOs Barbecue, man. I think he in the Dallas area too. I think he's somewhere around that area. He trying to launch off his restaurant, man. So he need to come out to Jarvis and cater one of y'all band competitions or something. You know
he needs to do something because I never heard him until I heard him on your show.
Yeah, I think he just started. Out. But yeah, man, he trying to get it going down there in Dallas. So
I'm gonna have to check him out, man. I spend every other weekend in Dallas. It seems like, man. So, you know.
Yeah, that'll work. In fact, both of my sisters live in Dallas.
And I support black-owned businesses, bro. So, what is it called? SmokeeOs?
Yeah, SmokeeOs Barbecue. You know what I'm saying? I would sing the song for you, but you know what I'm saying?
I gotta hear it, man. Cause that commercial funny to me, bro. That's like Blood's Barbecue, bro. Taste so good, slap him up.
Right. That's what's up, man. Well, it was good to talk to you, man. And I'll keep up with you. And
Okay.
I'll let you know when I do the editing and put it on the blog and all that stuff. But, man, real good conversation with you, man.
Man, thanks for having me again, man.
No problem. That's all the time we have for the podcast. Check out the website, donate what's in your heart to themarchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. See you next time.